Welcome back, coin explorers, the place where forgotten coins whisper stories and history hides in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered in the palm of your hand. Today, we're diving into one of the tiniest coins ever minted in British history. A coin that may be small in size, but holds a story larger than life. It tells of an empire at its peak, a queen who ruled over nearly a quarter of the world, and a currency system so intricate it's now almost mythical to modern ears. Get ready, because this is the story of the Victorian-era 1 farthing coin, a humble bronze piece from the 1800s that carries within it the echoes of an entire era. But before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe and tap that like button. Because in the world of coins, the smallest details can reveal the biggest surprises. Let's begin. At first glance, the Victorian 1 farthing coin may not seem all that special. It's small, about 20 millimeters in diameter. It weighs just around 2.8 grams, made of bronze, and has a deep brown or even blackened hue depending on its age and condition. The surface may show its age, pitting, scratches, oxidation, and yet those signs of wear only add to its charm. It feels aged, noble, and real, like something that has passed through countless hands and lives. But behind that little coin lies a giant of a story, because this coin was minted during one of the most significant periods in world history, the Victorian era, the time of Queen Victoria, who reigned from 1837 to 1901. It was a time when the British Empire stretched across continents, a time of industrial revolution, scientific advancement, cultural shifts, and yes, colonial rule. And the farthing? It was the smallest denomination in the British monetary system, worth 1/4 of a penny. Yes, that's right, 1/4 of a penny. A denomination that today would be considered insignificant, but back then it had real value in the daily lives of ordinary people. It was the coin of the poor, the working class, the child buying a sweet, the servant tipping a street performer, the widow buying a candle. It was the coin of the streets, the alleys, the markets, where every halfpenny and farthing mattered. On one side of the coin, the obverse, we see the portrait of Queen Victoria. Depending on the year of minting, you might find the young head, the Jubilee head, or the old head, veiled head. Each one tells a different part of her life's story. The young head, a serene, classical image of a young queen who had just taken the throne at 18 years old. The Jubilee head, released in 1887 to mark her Golden Jubilee, 50 years on the throne. The veiled head, a more somber, mature depiction of a monarch who had seen the world change. Surrounding her likeness are the Latin inscriptions, Victoria DG Brit, Reg FD, short for Victoria, De Gratia, Britanniarum Regina, Fide Defensor. Victoria, by the grace of God, Queen of the Britons, Defender of the Faith. It's not just a coin, it's a portrait in metal, a reflection of monarchy, power, and history. Now flip the coin over, and you'll meet Britannia, seated regally with a trident in one hand and a shield bearing the Union Jack in the other. Britannia is the personification of Britain itself. She has appeared on British coinage for centuries, a warrior, a goddess, a guardian of the seas. On the Victorian farthing, her image is delicate yet powerful. Waves lap at her feet. Sometimes there's a lighthouse in the distance. It's a romantic, imperial vision, one that symbolized the pride and confidence of a rising empire. Below her, you'll usually find the year of minting, 1860, 1873, 1897, and so on. And at the very top, the word farthing in bold letters, a name that would eventually vanish from daily life, but never from history. Now here's a question. What could you buy with a farthing? In Victorian times, a farthing could buy a newspaper, a small loaf of bread, a boiled sweet or two, a candle for the evening, a ride on a horse-drawn omnibus, in some cases. It wasn't much, but it was something. Especially for the working poor, the coin mattered. To a child, it was treasure. To a servant, it was a tip. To the street economy, it was fuel. It was a coin of practicality, but also of sentiment. Some were drilled and worn as charms, others were given as love tokens, and many, after years of use, were forgotten in drawers, pockets, and old furniture, only to be rediscovered generations later. Rarity, value, and what makes a farthing special. Now comes the question we all want answered. Is this coin valuable today? The answer is, it depends. Unlike modern rumors that inflate coin values into the thousands or millions, let's be clear, most Victorian farthings today are modestly priced, often worth just a few pounds or dollars. Common date coins in average condition might fetch $1 to $10, but the value changes dramatically based on three factors. 1. Condition, grade. A farthing in mint state or proof condition can be worth far more. 2. Rarity of the year. Some years, like 1860, transitional varieties, or 1875H, have lower mintages and are more desirable. 3. Errors and variants. Die cracks, off-center strikes, or unique minting variations can make a coin far more valuable to collectors. So while you won't retire on a common farthing, a rare one in perfect condition, especially graded and authenticated, might be worth significantly more. But perhaps more importantly, the real value of a farthing isn't in dollars or pounds. It's in the story it tells, the hands it passed through, and the legacy it carries. A coin of the people. This was never a royal coin, never meant for collectors. It was a coin of the working class. Imagine a factory worker in London in 1872 buying a crust of bread with a farthing, a young girl in Manchester dropping one into a church collection box, a mother lighting a candle to warm her home. This coin passed through real hands, with real lives, struggles, and hopes. And when you hold one today, you're holding their memory. Each scratch is a fingerprint, each dent is a story, each patina layer is a journey through time. Why collect a farthing? So, why collect a farthing? Because it connects us to the human side of history. It's not about gold, wealth, or power. It's about simplicity, humility, daily life. Coin collecting isn't always about the big wins. Sometimes, it's about the emotional value, about preserving a piece of the past. And the Victorian farthing is perfect for that. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it's rich with meaning. Start a collection by decade. See how Victoria ages on the coin. Hunt for different mints, London, Heaton, and others. Look for die shifts. Study the evolution of Britannia's design. It's a rabbit hole of history you'll be glad you entered. In the end, the 1 farthing coin teaches us something powerful, that even the smallest things matter. In a world where everything is rushed, digital, and disposable, the farthing is a reminder of patience, value, and permanence. It tells us that every coin, no matter how small, has a place in the big picture. So next time you come across a small, worn-out coin, don't toss it. Look closer. Ask questions. Because inside that coin might live the laughter of a child from 1850, the worry of a father from 1871, or the hope of a nation building an empire. Thanks for watching, Coin Explorers. If this story moved you, if it made you think twice about the coins in your collection, then like, share, and subscribe. Because on this channel, every coin has a voice, and every voice deserves to be heard. Have a Victorian coin at home? Maybe an old farthing tucked away in a box or handed down by a grandparent? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and always remember,